Ah, there we go. Finally have it figured out. Apologies there. Who is it that we have? Let's have a look at the track. Oh, Taylor Mackenzie's already retired. So we've got BKS out here at the minute. Bosworth disqualified. Going the wrong way. Right, I've got it sorted. I'm not sort of time BKS is gonna set here. What the benchmark will be round Silverstone here, dry track. Obviously everybody's gone out on the softs. This is week 1 as well as the format on the Thursdays. So it is obviously the one-shot qualifying, 25% sprint. Ibrad goes fastest there, the 1:27.2. Big Way second. Very close there. Darth Vader left. Doesn't look like it's going to be a time to contest with the rest of the pack there. There we have it for the one-shot qualifying. Brings the standings up. Qualifying first, for 25% we've got Ibrad. Second we've got Big Way. Third we've got Villos. Fourth King David. Fifth James. Sixth the Edcourt. BKS is behind him in seventh. The Zerwings and Lara Patch in 8th and 9th respectively behind them. Flea manages to get top 10 on the wheel. Behind him just Kingsholm, Darth Vader in 13th. The DNF and Bosworth. And who's behind him? Bosworth and Taylor Mackenzie with DSQ and no time. It is very close there between first and sixth. Only half a second separates, so the top 6 drivers there. Long way, there it is. What is it that we're waiting for here? I wonder. It's a good start from Toyota there as well, taking up the front line of the grid. So the 2 Monster Energies behind them as well. Bentley of James. Very surprising from Kingsholm there, down in 12th place though. I wonder if it was part of a strategy, or if he came off the track, apologies I couldn't catch it there. I'm not too sure what it is that's causing the delay here. Ah, there we go. It appears Darth Vader's left the session. Ah, I can just see the message in Discord saying his internet's not very good. So a reminder as well of the format that we are currently running on a Thursday is the week where in the 25% sprint there is no points scored, I do believe. We'll obviously just set the grid for the 50% Grand Prix, where all drivers will score points. So it is worth staying in the race for as long as you can. I wonder if there will be any action going into turn 1. Here we go, waiting for the red lights. And they're off. Where is positions? There we go. Veloz has jumped at the front 2 of the Toyotas there going into lap 1. Turn 1, sorry. BKS has also gained a place. Lewis up 3. King's almost going up 1 from 12 to 11. Vader's dropped down 2 though. Down to 15th at the back of the pack there. So running with Veloz at the front. Seems to be pulling out a little bit from the Toyota of Ibrad. Big Way behind him. King David looks to be making a move on Big Way. No, Big Way defends well around there. Runs a little bit wide though. King David will be right on his tail coming into this next corner. Seems to have fallen off a bit there, King David. Lewis making an absolute monstrous charge up the field there. 5 places from 11th, running in 6th now. Running by a teammate, James. Will there be some team orders to let him through on this pace maybe? We'll have to see. So another good start as well for Taylor Mackenzie, it appears, all the way back of the grid up to 11th. Some close battles. Seems to be a very clean race from the start, which is good. As I say, it does set the grid for the 50% race after this. Let's go back to Veloz, see how he's running at the front of the field there. Seems to be pulling away ever so slightly. I say from the Toyota of Ibrad and Big Way. Still not managed to gain the places they lost there at the start. There seems to be a bit of a gap. Kingsholm there. Taylor Mackenzie as well. Continuing that charge from the back of the pack. Now will he make a move around Kingsholm here? Through the corner, looking very close. Very smooth. Will he make the overtake here? Going into the pit straight. Round club now, looks to have got a good line through there. Taylor Mackenzie, but I don't think he's going to be close enough to make the move on Kingsholm. Riding on board with Lewis now. Only ever so slightly behind his teammate James here. James DRS open. As does his teammate. Still very bunched up at the moment. I'd say from the front, top 10 maybe. So anyone's racing at top 10. Interesting is the tyres. Kingsall, Mackenzie and Bosworth have all chosen to run the mediums from the start. It'll be interesting to see how their pit strategies pan out compared to the rest of the grid. That'll be something we'll have to wait and see. Kingsall running in 10th place, so 2.5 seconds behind Azure of the Monster Energy. He seems to have made the move on Court, which has lost 3 positions, runs very wide there. Azure seems to have made that position stick. So through Vale and Club. So Court will have DRS. No, sorry, that's not the DRS zone, I apologise. See, I missed that there. Brad's actually made the move up into first place there, and Veloz looks to be trying to regain that place back after his great start, starting from 3rd place. Ran up in first for a lap or 2, but succumbed to the pressure of Brad. Now, will there be some team orders here from Brad and Bigway to hold Veloz up in order for Bigway to gain that 2nd place back from the grid? King David running very close behind Bigway now though. So it is very close, this. 2 Monster Energies and 2 Toyotas running in the top 4 in alternate positions. With some very interesting strategies running at the minute. Lewis is still struggling. Veloz and Ibrad going at it first place. Veloz does do him on the outside there. Does he shut Brad out? Brad, oh, they go to the inside line and they touch. Brad maintains the inside line. It's going to be close. Oh, and he just makes it stick around the outside. With them 2 battling though, Bigway and King David have both caught the front 2 up. This is getting very interesting now. Say 2 Monster Energies, 2 Toyotas. Brad makes the move on Veloz, but will he make it stick? He does, but allows also King David to come from behind at Bigway. Bigway, what a race this is so far, running to the first 5 laps. Great racing from the 2 Monster Energies and Toyotas here. So it's Ibrad, Veloz, Bigway, King David, alternate positions still. Bigway will make that position stick though in 3rd place. Oh, Bigway seems to run a little bit wide there. King David is right behind him. See what he can move. Seems to have got a better line through there. On with the ERS and the DRS, I imagine. Bigway is doing the same. Can he fend off this position? Bigway running very low on ERS. King David makes the position stick there, much to the assistance of his ERS. And he's now running in 3rd place. Bigway down 2 places, down in 4th. He won't be happy with that. 2 Monster Energies in 2nd and 3rd will now try and chase down Brad, but he has actually managed to open up almost just under a second behind both ahead of both Monster Energy cars. Just not out of DRS range yet. Bigway is still very close behind King David. Oh, so I'll just check on there a patch. Flea's just making the move. Will he make it stick on the inside? No. Flea, I don't know what happened with Flea. Seems to have taken that corner very gingerly there. Lyra Patch and Flea both lost 4 positions from the grid. Not the greatest starts from them. Say Lewis, 2 teammates of Lewis and James have also, so it was BKS now also is considered in that pack for top 7, all within maybe 2-3 seconds of each other. This is very good racing here, boys. very clean, no incidents as of yet. Lewis still kind of not managed to maintain that monstrous charge from the first couple of laps. Saw him gain 5 places there. Oh, people going to the pits here. Brad, James. That leaves the 2 Monster Energies running out front, both on softs. Big Weir behind the 2 Monster Energies there, as well as Lewis. Top 4 is very close. No penalties as of yet. That is also very good. Taylor Mackenzie, 9th place, up 6 positions. Running behind Kingsholm, nicknamed the Overtake Master. Also up 4 places from his P12 start. Oh, no curve there. Kingsholm that's running on the grass. Will Taylor Mackenzie be able to make a move? Running a little bit wide. Back on the power. Oh, that's not going to help him there. Doing that ERS to try and catch up. Kingsholm has more of an ERS storage though. Will be very, very tactical in how way he uses it, and he goes very wide there. That must be a warning for that. With that abuse of the track, we should say. He caught up with Kingsholm, but Kingsholm's also now back. I'd say almost half a second in front of him with Taylor Mackenzie with that ERS he has now. No, he's not going to catch him. And King David and BKS are in the pits. They'll be pitting for the medium compound tyre, I imagine. The loss, I still believe, and Big Weir, Lewis, Azur as well, and Court, all passing on the chance to pit there with the soft compound tyres. And Lara Patch, down in last place, is set intermediate tyres. I mean, it doesn't look like it's raining. It does look like he's struggling there. I'm not sure if that's a mistake or just trying to do a rain dance there around the track in his Monster Energy car. Looks to be an incorrect decision on his part. Riding on board with Veloz now. Seems to kind of stretch that gap. He runs very wide as well. People seem to be running wide. Is it Cops, I believe, there? Just stretched it out over a second now for Big Weir, and it just keeps increasing. He seems to have got the pace there on Big Weir. The tyres are in a better condition than Big Weir, and Lewis has made the move on Big Weir. Wonder if they'll come into the pits. Lewis does. Gives up that second place straight back up to Big Weir there. Big Weir and Veloz now running 8-lap-old softs. The only people with Azur as well, so that's 2 of the 4 Monster Energies still on the soft compound, 1 on the mediums, and 1 is now on the softs. I imagine that was a mistake by Lara Patch there, coming out on the intermediate tyres. We don't have too many close battles at the minute with everyone pitting. It seems to have spaced everyone out. There is a group of 3 here, Flea, King David and Lewis all together. They are very close now. King David, will he be able to make the move on Flea? Flea does have soft compound tyres, but they are 8 laps old. King David and Lewis both behind him very closely. King David goes on the inside. I think that is definitely a case of more grip on those tyres. And Lewis also looking to make the move on Flea down the inside as well. On his pit ERS here. Yeah, look. Flea defending that position very well. Lewis will hold off on the move. Flea doesn't have that much ERS though, goes wide. Lewis on the decided against it there. Will he go for it down the inside? It's going to be very tight here. Pulls out. Both on the grass, and Lewis hits the back of Flea. Lewis hits the back of Flea there. looking like he wants to get the move done, get Flea dispatched, and he does. The question is there going to be any damage on the front of that Bentley there? He's not pitting. Flea does for the medium compound tyres. Flea got a 5-second time penalty as well for speeding in the pit lane. I didn't notice somebody else also had a penalty. Bosworth speeding in the pit lane also as well. Should be everyone now for pit stops. There shouldn't be anyone pitting this late in the race, I don't imagine. So far we've got Veloz running at the front. Great start from him. He's managed to make that first lap double overtake on Big Weir and Brad Stick running in first place. Big Weir's managed to retain second. Brad's lost pole down to third. Lewis an extra added position there onto his 5 monstrous charge from the start, now making it 6 positions. We'll be looking to close that gap on King David. Will he be able to make the 2 seconds up? Just under a second a lap he'll need to make up. Whereas James is running quite close behind Bosworth also. Looking very risky to make a move here. Maley make it stick on the exit of this corner. On the power ERS. Bosworth has an absolute huge storage of ERS though. He will hold off the charge from James, however. He won't be happy with his race so far, losing 6 positions. Him and Lewis, his teammate, basically done the opposite. James has lost 6, Lewis has gained 6. As you say though, this only sets the grid. There is no points scored this week. And it isn't the reverse like the week previous either. So it does pay to be as fast as you can in this one. BKS now running less than a second behind Lewis. A little bit more ERS storage than the Bentley in front of him. BKS seems to be dropping back from Lewis ever so slightly. Veloz and Big Weir still running on these 11 lap also. I wonder if they're trying to make them stick to the end of the race. I mean, there's only 1 lap left. There's not much point in them pitting. I don't see Brad closing a 23-second gap. Well, they will maybe pit the last lap. They will have to do it obviously together if they do. James is in the pit again. What's this? Intermediate? What is... Who's the second person now that has come out on intermediates? Which makes absolutely no sense. It is raining. Ah. But with only 1 lap left, does it really have that much advantage? Losing all those positions now? That's what, 8 positions he's lost? I wonder if he'll be happy with his race. 25% today, James. Big Weir and Veloz both in the pits now. This will be interesting. I don't think Brad will he be able to catch him up? Not too sure. Coming out of the pits now, Veloz. I think he's going to be fine. I think him and Big Weir will both be fine. I don't think they will be overtaken. Oh, there they are. There they are. I'm mistaken. Sorry, Brad's taking the lead into the last lap. Hi, Brad. What's happened there? The spin into turn one, is it? The wet conditions? Oh, no. Absolute catastrophe for Ibrad. Oh. Almost takes his wings out there. Ibrad will not be happy with that, but both the Monster Energies running in first and second there. It's a great start for the two, Veloz and King David there. It does look to be very, very wet out there now. Maybe that does explain the intermediate tyres. But Lewis up 7 positions. Who is that? Was that somebody parked? It's Lara Patch just doing donuts. It's a good thing Ghosting is on, otherwise I think he may have caused a very big pile up there. So there must be very little grit there. Very little grit. Riding aboard with the loss. Coming into this final 2 corners now to take the win. And will ride pole. Big Weir and King David going side by side into the last corner. Big Weir makes it stick. On the intermediate tyres, King David running the mediums there. Bit of drama going into the last corner. Lewis will finish in 4th. What a race, sorry, nearly swore there. What a race, 7 positions. BKS there in 5th. Azur 6th. Brad in 7th. Appear to have spun out there after crossing the line. Kingsholm 8th, up 4 positions. Court in 9th, down 3. Bosworth now to cross the line, I believe. He will still keep that 10th place, even with the time penalty, with the distance between him and Taylor Mackenzie. Flea as well, his penalty won't affect his finishing place either. So well, that's very good racing there. Very unfortunate for Brad though as well. Brad running front of the pack for the majority of the sprint race, just to lose it into the wall there. So it may have been a case of running on the medium tyres and this rain affecting the last couple of laps there. So and there we have it. That's the 25% race completed here at Silverstone. Give me a drink. Just a recap of the finishing positions there. Veloz in the Monster Energy up 2 into 1st place. Big Weir maintains his 2nd place on the grid. King David up 1 from 4th into 3rd. 2 out of 3 for the podium for Monster Energy there. It's Lewis in 4th, BKS in 5th, Azur Wings in 6th, Ibrad down into 7th from the pole that he had in the hot one-shot qualifying. He won't be very happy with that. Very unfortunate. King's on behind him in the Ford in 8th place, up 4 places from 12. Court in 9th behind him, his teammate. Unfortunate as well to lose a couple of positions, down in 9th, 3 places lost there. Bosworth in 10th, James in 11th, Taylor Mackenzie of the Toyota in 12th, Flea in 13th, Darth in 14th, and then last but not least, rounding off the grid is the Monster Energy of Lara Patch. Alright, very excited for the 50% race at Silverstone here. I'll have to just quickly change obviously some of the settings. So company for the 50% race now. As well, whilst we have a little bit of a break in the racing where it's on my phone so we can look at the standings. For some reason it's in the kitchen. Thursday standings, here we go. Oh, they're the wrong ones. Can't find them. So very good for Monster Energy. I'm not just saying that because I also race for Monster Energy, but they've got 3 of the top 6 locked out there. Big rear in second. I'll be looking to make a move on Veloz early. They were battling it out in the 25%. Wonder if iBad will be able to climb back up the grid, join in the fight that he was pretty much the centre of for multiple laps in the 25%. King's-On just rejoining there. I believe we're just waiting for some settings to change around for we set off King's-On, set his livery. There we go. It's 8th position, obviously where he finished. So I know it does say, but I do believe I've got it correct in that it isn't a reverse week. So the points next to the drivers' names will not count in the standings. I believe I am correct in saying that. Apologies if I'm not. That's the standing. I found the standings. So currently James in the Bentley is actually leading the Formula 4 standings here. 208 points. Very, very good from James. However, 11th place. He will have to do some good racing in order to make it up there, to add to his points. However, there was a very big gap between him and Big Weir in a Toyota. He's got 82 points, so he does have a little bit of a cushion there to play with across a couple of weeks. However, going down from there, it does get very close between drivers. So Big Weir in second, Lewis in the Bentley, 121, 5 points behind Big Weir. Court in the Toyota, 130, and only 8 points behind him in the Ford. So Bentley are looking very, very solid in the driver standings, as well as obviously the constructors, I should believe. James and Lewis in the top 3. And Walter is 17th on 37 points. And I don't think there's another Bentley in this. Robin, there he is, 12th place, 60 points. There we go. We've got 94 points between the other 2 drivers there. James is also leading the Pot 1 standings, almost double the points of the person below him with Zerwings, 62 to 38. We are just waiting now for the race to start. Should be an exhilarating race today. A couple of people with some weak connections. Everything should be fine. Didn't seem to see have any issues with any lag in the 25%. Should be fine. And there we have it. The drivers have started to ready up now for the race start of Silverstone, Season 1. It's going to be very good. Don't know about you guys, but I'm definitely looking forward to this one. It's a nice change. Having a backseat in the race, seeing how everything works. I appreciate the chance from Kingsholm and the team. And great, my laptop has died. Just what we want. Just waiting for good people's connections to restore. The air patch, new driver, Monster Energy. Everything seems okay. Drivers now just setting what tyres they'd like. So there's another reminder of the grid there for you. Waiting for everybody to line up now. And here we have it, waiting for the 5 lights. Off they go for the formation lap. I believe it's the formation lap. It is, yeah, sorry. I think I just laid a log in my trousers there, thinking I missed the start of the race. Especially with the speed that Veloz and Big River set off from the grid. Looked like very competitive racing. Also just attempting to get some heat into those tyres of theirs. So just a quick look at the tyres as well. There is only 3 people on the grid. Lewis 4th, Zerwings in 6th and Court in 9th. So 3 of the top 10 have gone on softs. Lewis obviously looking to maintain that monstrous charge. I will continue to use that term, especially if we see what sort of racing he produced in the 25% on those softs. If he will be able to get ahead of King David, Big Weight and Veloz. The front 3, and is that Veloz? It is spun on the formation, not trying to warm those tyres up. And is that BKS there? It's gone wide. Bosworth, sorry. Again, people running, almost pushing the limits of this car. James goes very wide as well there. Not too sure what's happening here. Bosworth seems to have just glitched through the front of James's wing. It's very strange. They all start to line up and resume their correct positions, as some people seem to have missed out, being overtaken, etc. Now waiting for Veloz rejoin the grid in first place after that spin. Here we go, waiting for the lights. And we are off for the British Grand Prix. And King David seems to have got down the inside of Big Wig going into turn one, and there's a big spin. Who is it? It's Big Wig. Big crash. Oh, is there a safety car? There is a big Wig down 12 places there. Track cars all over the track as that Liera patch seems to have lost a wing. That was not a very good start there. Taylor Mackenzie up 7 and Darth up 8 places. One man's trash is another man's treasure, I suppose. Lots of people will look like they should be pitting. Wings, etc., I imagine, will be fixed. James with the penalty as well. 3 seconds. Speaking of James, gone a bit wide there. Looking at making a move on Brad. Very gingerly around the corner. Just touching the grass, using up that ERS storage there. So is Brad, but he is running a little bit less on it. Darth and Taylor seem to have made the most of that kerfuffle. Brad's coming into the pits, so's James. Bosworth isn't. Will Court, who is damaged. Court is coming into the pits, as is Big Weir. Flea runs wide, he's also into the pits. James with a 5-second penalty. It's all going on early in the race. Zerwings, he almost goes into the back of Flea, and he gets a 5-second penalty for speeding as well. Kingsholm also in the pits, and Leo Fatch. More than half the grid are in the pits. This is a crazy start to the race. Wonder if any of them will double stack. It doesn't seem like any of them are. Oh, there is Kingsholm. Kingsholm stacking with Big Weir. Oh, that, as if it wasn't bad enough, he had to pit. He will have I'll use the term again, a monstrous job. Down 7 places. All that time, he will be hoping for a safety car. I'm very surprised that there wasn't a safety car, given the car's debris all over the track. Now we've got away from all the chaos, running up in front with the 2 Monster Energy cars of Veloz and King David, running very solid. Less than a second separates the 3 drivers, 2 Monster Energies and the Bentley and Lewis. Very close to Taylor Mackenzie as well, looking to make an 8th overtake on BKS. It's just not close enough. Exit of the corner, what's it going to be like? And it's just not close enough. It's very, very close front 3 of Veloz, King David and Lewis. Big Weir in 10th. So I'm not too sure. I think it was him that was the car that spun. I imagine we will be seeing something in the incident reports from one of the drivers regarding that first corner. So you got many of them from 8th down, 30 seconds. It's very, very spread out between drivers. Taylor Mackenzie goes very wide. Probably will have sustained a warning for that, possibly. Back on the power. Looking at making a move on BKS. Yeah, again, I've seen lots of drivers just tickle the grass there on that corner. King David's made the move and his teammate. Lewis, though, the fastest lap. He is charging up on the 2 Monster Energies. Riding on board with him now. King David does set the new fastest lap, though. A lot of them are running on the medium compound tyres. And Lewis is... No, sorry. I thought that like it was a spin. Running very close now. Still a second separates the front three. DRS will be open for him. Vlos will also have it on his teammate. Will be able to close the gap. Just not enough. King David, Vlos doing absolutely storming, full capacity on his ERS. Brad with a 1:29.5, fastest lap running down 8th position there. Most likely running on those. I imagine he's stopped for the soft compound tyres. It'll be very interesting to see what people do with strategies. With, say, the majority of the grid having pitted on lap 1 from that pile-up. There is multiple drivers, top 3. There is chopping and changing between first and second, the 2 Monster Energies. Keeping it very clean, gents. Lost makes it stick there, he gains pole position. Lewis is just watching from behind now. They flee. Looks to be making the move on court, going into turn 1. Oh, very nice. Yields the position back to court there. Realised that if he carried on going, was most likely going to send him off the track. Oh, and Flea gets a 3-second time penalty. Corner cut in there. He's running quite close behind court. We'll need that DRS to catch back up into that overtake zone. And again, very wide. Lost all the time that he had gained. Flag in sector 3. Azurwings in a wall. In a wall, his front wing. How is it? Doesn't look too bad, I don't think. Well, what a strange race this is for Monster Energy. We've got 2 of them running at the front of the pack in first and second, and then 2 in the last 2 places, 14th and 15th. Doesn't seem to have pitted. Might have been very lucky getting away with no damage there. Very unlucky for him, down 9 places. We're on board with Lewis now. Very close behind King David, looking to make the move. Going across the line. There's a little look down the inside. No. Lara patch 3-second time penalty. Lewis down the inside. Late on the braking. Will he be able to make it stick? Pushes King David outside. Great move by Lewis. Continuing that charge, and he's even managed to do it at a time where he's managed to get DRS. Managed to fly away from King David. King David will be using his ERS as well to counteract that. Very close race. I say the battle between Lewis and King David seems to have opened up a gap now for Vlos to kind of ride off into the wind. Taylor McKenzie, 3-second time penalty. Multiple warnings there. Lewis has still managed to keep that position on King David. King David will be looking to keep hounding him, keep on that rear bumper wing, of Lewis. Maybe force him with the pressure, making a mistake. Comes with the DRS, gives him a bit of a wiggle. Goes down the inside. Nope, doesn't make it stick. And here he goes down the outside. King David down the outside, gets the inside corner for the next corner, pushes Lewis out a little bit wide. It's going to be bumper to bumper down here. Lewis goes wide but maintains more straight line speed. Very good race between the second and third place drivers here. Very close indeed. Flea sustains 3-second time penalty warning. There is a couple of drivers with multiple. That is Flea's third. James on 8 seconds. I imagine that 1 for speed in the pits and another possible exceeding track limits. King David losing a little bit of time to Lewis ahead now. Still well within the DRS range. Very nice taken there by King David. It's not that many people. Taylor Mackenzie's running very closely behind BKS. He does have that time penalty, 3 seconds. Obviously, with that chaotic turn 1, Taylor Mackenzie and Darth are probably the main people who've managed to make use of that. Oh, Taylor Mackenzie runs wide, goes on the track, off the track. Hounding BKS for that 4th position. BKS is not giving it up without a fight. King David and Lewis battling out for 2nd and 3rd again. Lewis gets a 3-second time penalty. Multiple warnings that will niggle at him. He won't be happy with that. We'll be hoping the 2 Monster Energies possibly do the same. Cancel out his penalty. No one really that close. Kingsholm down in 13th. Won't be too happy with how his race has panned out so far. Looking to make the move down the inside of Flea. Does he make a stick? Yes, he does. Kingsholm up into 12th position there, making the move on Flea. Flea looking to come back down on the inside. No. Kingsholm says it's not happening. Seems over half a second on Flea. Kingsholm's looking at the next man now, which is his teammate Court. James kind of running in a period of no man's land here. So if you remember from lap 1, top 7 drivers were the only people who didn't pit. Just the back from 8 down are all essentially a pit stop behind. And King David and Lewis are still going at it. I'm trying not to make this a Lewis and King David show, but they are toe to toe. King David goes on the inside. Lewis has got the inside next corner for the switchback. King David just the grip on those tyres. Mediums will be outlasting the softs though. He goes down the straight with the DRS. Will he manage to keep Lewis again down the inside? Holds that line. Possibly go for the switchback. No. It's forced to pull out. Don't think he'll be looking at making the move down here. No. Maintains a very smooth though. This is heart-raising racing from these 2 drivers here, neck and toe all the way. With that being said though, they have managed to allow Veloz to open up a 5-second gap. King David goes down the outside of Lewis there, taking his 2nd position off him. Just thank you very much. Lewis will be looking down the inside, and Taylor Mackenzie is winning slightly behind BKS. Nicely done. So we have 2 drivers, 2nd and 3rd, are now kind of taking the foot off the gas, taking more priority on the defensive strategy, allowing the drivers behind him to catch up. BKS now under a 2nd behind Lewis, or was, should I say. Lewis goes down the outside, around the outside of King David, manages to make the move stick. Honestly, neck and toe between these 2, nothing to separate them. King David trying to bait him into defending the inside line there, doesn't work. King David will be looking at the DRS now. Probably retake that second place back. And he does very easily. The DRS is very low for Lewis at the minute, as he is fighting that penalty as well. And Lewis goes into the pits. Lewis into the pits, lap 10, will be coming off those soft tyres. I imagine putting the medium compound tyres on. Taylor McKenzie, BKS, all jumping up. Bosworth will also jump in, I imagine. Where will Lewis come out, I wonder? I imagine he'll just come out 8th. So from the first lap incident, it's pretty much like we've got 2 races going on at the minute. 1st to 7th and then 8th to 15th, but it is worth staying in the race till the end, guys. As I said, you do get full points, full grid, as long as obviously you don't disqualify or crash out. As long as you finish, you do get points. That is the most important thing, is that you do finish the race. Caught with a 3-second time penalty there. Taylor McKenzie and BKS still remain kind of the only battle. Kingsholm's closed the gap on his teammate. Caught now down to almost under a second. Will be willing for that DRS zone to help him pull him towards his teammate and continue that charge on up the field. Taylor McKenzie. So the DRS on BKS, will he make the read on the inside? It's very laggy, very laggy riding on board. Well, what is that that's happening with Taylor McKenzie? I'm not too sure what has happened there. It looked like he was fine 1 minute, and the next it appeared to be in the wall. It's still wiggling all over the place there, Taylor. Yeah, straight into the pits, get that sorted out. And then he gets a 5-second speeding penalty. One of those races, very good. Darth, though, takes advantage of Taylor going off track. 9 places. Darth from the back of the grid. And Bosworth as well, running in 4th and 5th. This is great racing. Managing to avoid the incidents ahead. There is. Kingsholm's now got it under a second. Will be looking at overtaking his teammate, making the use of that DRS. Will jump Taylor McKenzie in the pit. I should think so. Caught and no, where are they going to come out? Very close. Taylor McKenzie almost comes across the line of Kingsholm. Kingsholm's going to go down the inside, of course he is, but he almost touches his teammate. Little contact there. Taylor McKenzie takes advantage and takes the outside line on the hards, but Kingsholm, we all know what he's like on the soft compound tyres, straight down the inside, says thank you for that position. I will take that all day. Continues on to his next target, which was originally his teammate, Ford of Court. Almost just around half a second now. Kingsholm closing the gap. Must be very clean with them both being teammates. They don't want to cause an incident. Red Bull all over again. We'll have the DRS on Court. Looks like he may move down the outside. Where's he going to go down the inside? Court tries to push him out. There it is. Taylor McKenzie is also joining the pack. Taylor McKenzie overtakes Court there. Court flies into the pits. Seen a couple of people with speed in the pit lane as penalties. Being a bit too eager to gain time. Now, I actually was jumping with excitement for a second there. If you look on the mini-map, there was 4 Monster Energies in a row, and I thought they had the top 4 places. As I said, it is just the layer patch 5-second time penalty speed in the pit lane. It's 14 second DNF. What has he done? It's in the pit lane. I can see that. Can't see anything. King David into the pits now, coming off the medium compound, putting those soft tyres on. Recharge his ERS hopefully as well in the pits a little bit. Hope to make a push back up to the top 3 places where he was. King David looking to be overtaken by Lewis. Probably, no, it's going to be very close. King David holds the line. Lewis is on the medium compound tyres. Only just 2 laps old though, so the soft of King David will wear off towards the end of the race. Because Lewis will still be in the prime. It is going to be very close. And Lewis goes down around the outside of King David. King David forces him to think twice about it, but Lewis is the inside corner, and it's neck and neck. Who is it that's got DRS? No one, because it's not a DRS zone again. King David manages to force Lewis back. These 2 drivers again. James running in 11th place, looking to make the move and flee down the outside. It's a great exit, makes it stick, moves up into 10th place. Good racing from James there. Bosworth, a 3-second time penalty. Lots of drivers looking at, they've got penalties now. Daff of Vader into the pits, onto the soft compound tyres now. It looks like he will be jumped by Lewis, King David and Brad. So down in 7th position now. Very, very unfortunate race for Bigway there. That first lap incident didn't do him much help, and having said that, there's not been much in the way of an incident since that, so there's had no chance for a safety car to come out at all. Lewis now looking at making a move on, guess who? The Monster Energy of King David. So that's a purple sector. Right on the rear wing of King David. When will he look at making the move? Possibly after these chicanes will be in the DRS zone. Let's have a look. Lewis. Not as tidy as he would have liked to there. Lost some time on the ERS, using what little he has left. King David, it's not enough. King David still maintains 4th. God, this is really great racing from both King David and Lewis. King David the fastest off a 1:29.3. Now BKS, Bosworth and Brad have all come into the pits now, so it is the original 3 who were neck and neck in the 25% race. Veloz, King David and Lewis. Looking at the position change, there's top 4 have kind of shuffled around a little bit. There's only really been 1 or 2 people who have kind of made the most of today's race, I would say, in the sense of overtaking. Bosworth, who are up 5 places from 10. Kingsholm fastest about 1:28.7 on a mission. Right on board with him now. Very close behind his Zerwings on the hard compound tyres. He will. There we go. Down the inside, very easy. A lot more grip than the hard of a Zer. Lewis has a 3-second time penalty as well. The hards of a Zer 13 laps old, so there will be a lot more worn than the fresh laps of fresh tyres of Kingsholm. Sorry. And in 11th, as we were saying, Bosworth up 5, made the most of his opportunities today. Darth coming from last 6, it's a good effort from him yet again. I think he was one of the ones that made the most of the incident in lap 1, turn 1. Taylor as well. He would have been another one up there. However, we did see him in spin just before the pits, which obviously cost him a lot of positions. He won't be happy with himself, but you've got to feel sorry for Big Ray. Obviously put those hard compound tyres on and would have been hoping for a safety car since, and obviously just never managed to get one. And Veloz is in the pits and he's got a 5-second time penalty. Is that going to be key in the race for first position? I wonder. 17 that old medium compound tyres. Veloz is now coming out of the pit lane. I don't think King David is going to be able to gain enough time to be an issue to his teammate. He's on the accelerate up the hill of the pit. No, it's not going to be close. But Flea, back marker there, should yield the position to Voss. I'm not too sure if that's him yielding. There should be blue flags being waved, I imagine. And there we go, and he's past Flea there. Aye, Brad, 1:28.57. It's a couple of teams bunched up. 2 Monster Energies. We've got a Bentley Lewis and a Porsche BKS with his teammate Bosworth behind him. 3 Toyotas together. Brad, who's just made the move on Taylor McKenzie, makes him up into 8th place there, clawing back those positions. Darth Vader just kind of plodding along in 6th there, happy with himself, no doubt. It's not all over yet. Drama could still happen. 8 laps left. Almost a 4-second gap now between the 2 Monster Energy cars, 1st and 2nd. Lewis still in 3rd, just kind of willing himself to get under that 1-second gap to allow him, the DRS, to pull him towards the Monster Energy of King David. Corton is having a bit of a close battle for 12th position here. I say the track is very spread out now. They're the only ones in DRS range. Court looking to make the move. He is on the better compound tyres, more grip, looking at the inside. Zer says nope, not today. Going round onto the pit straight now. Court looking, James, 3-second time, but lots of penalties today. Lots of penalties, especially towards the back end of the grid now. 8 seconds for Voss. Having said that, he has just set a 1:27.7. He is 8 seconds up before that. Court looking to make the move on a turn. He does. Down the inside. Looking to make it stick. I say it is a lot maybe to do with those compounded tyres. The mediums are a lot better than the hards, especially when the hards are 16 laps old. And there is Zed popping off the track for a snack for a little bit. It's not really anybody that close. Kingsholm. Kingsholm overtaken by Court. How has this happened? And the Zerwings. What's happened to Kingsholm? And he's touched by Zerwings. Kingsholm. 3 second time penalty as well. What is... There it is. King retiring in the pits. Was kind of willing for that safety car to come out. It never really did. There's not that many close battles. The penalties though of the loss, as we were saying before, 8 seconds. 8 seconds essentially, as it stands, will push King David up into first place. Now, Veloz just needs to concentrate, not violate the track anymore, and just kind of focus on spreading that gap from King David to more than 8 seconds. BKS, though, very real chance of a podium here for him and the Porsche. Running in 4th place, running just under 2 seconds behind Lewis. However, Lewis does have 6 second time penalties. 6 seconds off time penalties, sorry. So that would propel BKS up into 3rd place. As I say, as it stands. And Veloz just seems to have just another gear. He's just absolutely flying. He is just pulling away from King David now. As we started this conversation about penalties, I believe he was just around 7 seconds faster. It's almost up to there it is, up to the 8 that he needs to stay in first position for this race. King David will be very conscious now, but what he doesn't want to do is push himself too hard to try and close that gap on Veloz and then cause himself a time penalty. That is what he doesn't want to happen. Oh, Darth Vader? Crash, did I miss that? Sorry. Darth Vader crashed out? What's happened? I apologise, I have to double check that. Veloz, very, very happy with himself. Raced an absolute blinder today. Just nearly 9 seconds ahead of King David now. I've just seen that the tyres that they're on are considerably newer than what King David is on, so there may be an explanation, but nonetheless, great pace from the Monster Energy driver. And so there's the 3 Toyotas are kind of close to each other. Big Rear Brad and Taylor McKenzie. No, sorry, just Big Rear and Brad. Brad, 2.5 behind Big Rear. I'll be looking to possibly exchange. As I said that, Brad just picked up a time penalty. It's very unfortunate for him. Will need to overtake his teammate and then extend the gap by 3 seconds in order to make the position change worth it. So the pace of the two front 3, I would say, possibly even 4 cars. It might have been, a different story with Big Rear, Kingsholm up in there in the conversation as well. What the pace of the front group was like, especially in the 25%, lots of racing, close quarters, and a thrilling race so far. Oops. 2 seconds. Apologies. BKS is now less than a second behind Lewis, but with Lewis's penalties, I don't think it's going to matter too much. BKS doesn't really need to try anything silly here. I mean, he can go for the overtake if he wishes, but I'm not too sure in the terms, logically, in terms of safety. He dives down the inside of Lewis and they take each other's wings off. It could have an adverse effect if he tries to overtake him, if he just kind of keeps within a second, or the 6 seconds that Lewis has occurred of penalties, he'll be fine and he will get the podium. So hopefully no incidents running into these last 2 laps now here at Silverstone. Big Rear and Brad seems to have changed positions. I say Brad running on the soft compound tyres, Big Rear still running on those hards. Brad with the 3-second time penalty, though, he'll be looking to extend that in these last 2 laps. It'll be very interesting to see if he can. It is under a second. Gap between the 2 Toyotas there. Running on board with BKS, and we'll just wonder if he will make the move. I'm not too sure if he pulled out of that one, or he looks like he's going to go down the inside. Here he isn't. He's looking very close between Bentley and Porsche here. Physically, logically, Lewis is 6 seconds behind BKS now. It's 5.5 essentially, sorry. Yellow flags. Who's that? Is James. It is the Bentley of James. Very unfortunate for him. Having said that, he is quite lucky in the sense that the grid, there is 12 cars spread across the whole grid. So there is lots of spaces in between drivers to allow for possible mistakes such as that. Still riding on board with BKS. Really curious to see if he will make the move on Lewis. Caught with another 3-second time penalty. So this is a great racing here from Veloz. Managed to keep the lead for the majority of the race. BKS does make the move on Lewis, and it is very safe on the DRS zone. Takes pole position, not pole position, sorry. Takes a podium position there. Oh, wait there. Oh, penalty. 3 seconds for BKS. So it doesn't really matter too much in terms of penalties. No position changes will happen between those two. And I say it's great racing. All drivers. I don't think there's any incidences where people had DNF'd from crashing. Maybe Lara Patch, I think maybe. But yeah, it's just a little bit unfortunate. It couldn't have been a little bit more tightly packed, more a cluster of racing. But King David and Lewis provided a lot of entertainment with their wheel-to-wheel racing tonight. And coming into the last 2 corners now for Veloz. Looking to take the victory here in the British Grand Prix for Monster Energy. And he does. Very happy with himself and the performance that he's put in today. Standing in for the green team. King David across the line in 2nd place. BKS in 3rd, Lewis in 4th, just behind him. Bosworth now to cross the line with his penalties. Where will that put him? 3 seconds, I'm sure he'll be fine. 5th, Brad, I'm sure he'll be fine. in 6th position. Yeah, he will be. Big Ray's just overtaken Taylor Mackenzie there. Taylor Mackenzie lost a lot of time. Not sure it mattered too much with the penalties. Brad there, confirmation of his 6th place finish. Congratulations, Brad. Big Way in 7th. It's a great fight back into 7th from Big Way after the first lap. Taylor Mackenzie finishes in 8th. James now to cross the line. I'm sure it'll be James in 9th. Court will be in 10th. And Azur will be in 12th, with Flea having already finished in 12th position. It's been what I feel to be a very good race today. I apologise for the standard of commentary. Sorry, Broom, it wasn't up to your normal standard. I will be racing next week, providing obviously you are back commentating. Bosworth there just got driver of the day as it was awarded, as we saw. You see the podium positions, and we will give you one final rundown of the finished Grand Prix. We have it. Veloz maintains pole, which he had from the start of the 25% race into the 50%, and holds that for the remainder, taking pole. Congratulations. King David back with the Monster Energy team in 2nd there. Good racing from you. BKS, you again, sir. Great racing to enable you to get a podium position. Lewis in 4th, Bosworth in 5th there, up 5 places from 10th. Brad in 6th for the Toyota. Big Way and Taylor Mackenzie, all Toyotas as well, in a clump 6, 7 and 8. James in 9th, Court in 10th, Azur in 11th. Lee's also down in 12th there in the Porsche. And then obviously we have the 3 DNS, which were Darth, Kingsholm and Lara Patch. And as I said, I'd like to congratulate everyone who took part in today's race, and to the likes of Kingsholm, etc., the admin team that allowed me to take on this opportunity. And hopefully we'll see you all next week.